Hi everyone, welcome to the Tuesday edition of Source 16 News. I'm Eddie Owen. Thanks for joining us. Topping our news, Hopkinsville police are continuing to investigate an afternoon shooting that reportedly took place at an apartment complex located off West 19th Street and High Street near Jenny Stewart Medical Center.
At 1:25 this afternoon, we received a report of shots fired here at 1935 High of one person being shot, and that person was taken to Jenny Stewart emergency room by a personally owned vehicle. The person that was shot did receive one gunshot wound to the upper left leg. At this time, he's being treated at Jenny Stewart. Now, the suspects in this case were driving a white Chevy Blazer with gray trim. They were described as two black males, and they were last seen leaving this area and going towards Main Street, which is a couple of blocks away from here.
Officer Ray says until next of kin are notified, the police department cannot release the victim's name, who he described as an adult male. Stay tuned to Source 16 as we continue to bring you the latest details on this developing story. Well, their campaign message is simple: lead, follow, or get out of the way. To spread their message and to win more votes for the upcoming primary election, gubernatorial candidate David Williams and Lieutenant Governor hopeful Richie Farmer traveled to Hopkinsville today.
Beshear had the opportunity to lead, he would not lead. He had the opportunity to follow, he would not follow. So now it's time for him to get out of the way and for us to make some of the changes that will make Kentucky competitive again so we can create and retain jobs like the state to the south, Tennessee. I live on the Tennessee line farther east from here, and all the counties I represent in the state senate are next to Tennessee, and we've watched Tennessee's per capita income increase, their population increase, the percentage of their adults who are working increase, while Kentucky has been adrift under the leadership of Steve Beshear. And we want a pro-job creation, conservative governor and lieutenant governor to take this state back and make Kentucky all she can be.
Williams then spoke about his thoughts on corporate and personal income taxes.
We have to do away with the corporate income tax, and the personal income tax needs to be phased out too. We are proposing and passed in the last session of General Assembly a tax commission to draw a new tax code from top to bottom, not just state taxes but local taxes. During my tenure as President of the State Senate, we've reduced the corporate income tax from 8.75 to 6%. We've reduced the personal income tax, done away with the corporate license tax, but that's not enough.
The political candidates also shook hands with a small group of supporters at BW's Diner, located at 308 North Main Street. The Republican candidates running against Williams and Farmer in the primary next Tuesday are Jefferson County Clerk Bobby Holsclaw and her running mate Bill Vermillion Jr., and Louisville businessman Phil Moffitt and his running mate Mike Harmon. A Hopkinsville man accused of shooting two teens had his case dismissed without prejudice in Christian County Circuit Court this morning. Assistant Commonwealth Attorney Whitney Westerfield told Source 16 that the case against Shannon Fairley was dismissed without prejudice so the Commonwealth can indict Fairley at a later time. Westerfield said the case will likely take years to go to trial because Fairley's co-defendant, Antonio Dooley, is currently serving time in a Tennessee jail. Fairley was charged with aggravated domestic assault, vandalism, 2 counts of domestic assault, unlawfully carrying a deadly weapon, and 2 counts of violating his conditional release. As we previously reported, Fairley and Dooley were charged with shooting 2 Hopkinsville boys in the Woodland Heights area June 9, 2010. Christian County Fiscal Court this morning approved a grant application worth thousands of dollars and also approved decreasing the cost of county insurance plans. Judge Executive Steve Tribble says fiscal court magistrates unanimously authorized him to apply for a community block grant worth up to $500,000 to help pay the renovation cost for the old Carnegie Library building located on Liberty Street. In other business, magistrates approved reducing county insurance cost by 18% for county employees. Fiscal Court also approved training incentives for magistrates Tom Jones and Rudolph Pettis. The next Fiscal Court meeting is scheduled for Tuesday morning, May 24th at 8:30. As we first reported at 10 o'clock last night, Hopkinsville Mayor Dan Kemp unveiled his proposed budget for fiscal year 2011-12 during last night's Community Conversations event.
have compiled a surplus in the last 2 years, as you can see, and we are projecting a surplus again this year, a total of a little over $26 million in revenue, $26.6 million in projected expenses. And this is for all funds from all sources, including municipal road aid, MRA municipal road aid. That's gasoline tax money that comes to the city through the state. Our total payrolls in the city are up more than 6%.
The proposed budget includes a project worth nearly $8.3 million to renovate the municipal building to become the city's new police headquarters and renovate the old Planters Bank building to relocate city staffers.
In order for HPD to maintain the standards of excellence that we would like to have, we just feel that, and we've been feeling this way for some time, that we need a new police facility that's adequate in size for the police department, the size that we need in Hopkinsville. And we just feel like the time has come.
The budget also includes replacing one of the fire department's trucks, a new roof for the Public Works building, a 1.5% cost of living allowance for all city employees, hiring 2 civilian public safety officers, and purchasing 8 new police vehicles. Area residents also met personally with the mayor and with representatives from 23 departments and agencies at Belmont Elementary School. Fort Campbell officials will be hosting a remembrance ceremony tomorrow afternoon for 8 101st Airborne Division soldiers who paid the ultimate sacrifice. This month's ceremony will honor the following soldiers: 28-year-old Sergeant First Class Ofren Arachega of Florida, 26-year-old Staff Sergeant Frank Adamski of Connecticut, 29-year-old Staff Sergeant Brian Burgess of Texas, 39-year-old Sergeant Cynthia Taylor of Georgia, 23-year-old Specialist Jameson Linskog of California, 20-year-old Specialist Dustin Feldhaus of Arizona, 23-year-old Private First Class Jeremy Faulkner of Georgia, and 22-year-old Specialist Sean Cutsforth of Virginia. The remembrance ceremony is open to the public and will be held at 4 p.m. at the division headquarters building. A 26-year-old Hopkinsville woman has been arrested and charged in connection to a stabbing on Vine Street that occurred last month. 26-year-old Elora Settles, who was also featured as a Crime Stoppers fugitive last week, turned herself in to the Christian County Jail around 1:40 Monday afternoon. Hopkinsville police charged Settles with first-degree assault in connection to the April 8th stabbing of 25-year-old Kevin Pollard of Elkton on Vine Street in Hopkinsville. Pollard was reportedly stabbed repeatedly in the back and chest near his heart and was life-flighted to Vanderbilt Medical Center in Nashville, where he recovered. According to the arrest warrant, Settles has called Pollard's mother and told her that she was sorry to have stabbed her son and that she would soon turn herself in to police. Police say Pollard was found at Settles' home, but she was not there. Only her cell phone and her car were there. A second woman, 27-year-old Kimberly Harrell of Elkton, was also arrested by Hopkinsville police the night of the incident and charged with first-degree assault in connection to the stabbing. Marshall County authorities are investigating 2 separate burglaries. The Marshall County Sheriff's Department reported today that a deputy responded to Moores Camp Highway last Thursday in reference to a burglary of various items being stolen from a building. Now, according to the report, police say it appeared a trailer had been used to load the stolen items that included some sliding and hinged Pella doors, many assorted sizes of Pella windows, miscellaneous colors of vinyl siding, an E-Z-GO golf cart, and a Harley-Davidson golf cart, as well as other equipment and tools. On Monday, a Marshall County Sheriff's deputy responded to South Marshall Middle School at 85 Sid Darnell Road, Benton, in reference to a burglary over the weekend. Police say several windows were broken there to gain entry into the school, and 3 Dell Latitude laptops and 3 iMac computers were stolen from the classrooms. The Sheriff's Department is continuing to investigate both of these burglaries. Authorities confiscated hundreds of marijuana plants in western Kentucky last night after receiving a tip regarding illegal drug activity. Kentucky State Police went to the home of 24-year-old Jeffrey Baker Jr. of Sturgis in Union County last night and found about 400 pot plants in the early stage of growth. various types of items used in the process of growing marijuana, and 2 firearms. Baker was charged with cultivating marijuana, more than 5 plants, and possession of drug paraphernalia. During the course of the drug investigation, police reportedly received new information involving a burglary at Stone's Veterinary Clinic in Sturgis, and say charges are pending at this time. Fort Campbell's 1st Brigade Combat Team, otherwise known as the Bastogne Bulldogs, relinquished their battle space to an infantry division based out of Hawaii. Task Force Bronco Public Affairs Sergeant Amber Robinson reports the transfer of authority ceremony was held at Forward Operating Base Fenty, Afghanistan, and dozens of Afghan leaders and U.S. troops attended the event. During the event, Commander of Task Force Bastogne, Colonel Andrew Pappas, and Task Force Command Sergeant Major Kevin Benson cased their unit colors, marking their return back to Fort Campbell. Major General John Campbell also attended that event. Well, tonight's Mega Millions jackpot is $18 million. Wednesday's Powerball jackpot, $65 million.